So we're here at Wakefield Regional Park, next to Audrey Moore Rec Center. They have a great system of trails there, and they're really conveniently close to our area. So when you first enter the trail, there's this nice gravelly path that leads you to the more technical trails. This path is mostly traveled by runners. You turn right in order to get to the trails. So as you enter the trail on the right, there's a little log crossing, and then that opens up into sweeping single track terrain, which is rideable by anybody. These trails are perfect for riders of any age. Novices can ride it, people who have never even been on a mountain bike before, and even advanced riders can have quite a bit of fun in this area known as the creek zone, because on your left most of the time will be a creek. One good thing is it's not gravel as a lot of novice trails are. It is real dirt packed down. It's hard pack, but you won't be sliding out and washing out in corners because the trails are poorly maintained and made out of gravel. You can ride these trails very fast, and that's one of the most fun things to do here, is just to ride the novice area, the creek zone, really fast. And that's just as fun as riding more technical terrain, because you can really just hit the corners hard and they won't slide out under you. Another good thing is that the trail is very well maintained. It's not rough. There are no braking bumps or anything. There are a few roots in the trail, but if you're an experienced rider, you can just soak them up easily. And especially if you're riding the trail really fast, it doesn't slow you down at all to go even straight over the roots. There are some fun little natural berms that were created when they made the trail, just because of the elevation of the environment around it. Another good thing about these trails is that there's essentially no wrong way to go. If you're trying to get a certain place, then you can take a wrong turn and it'll just lead you somewhere else, but you won't get taken off the trails because of a wrong turn. Trails all lead into each other. There are a few detours in which you can take a harder line or an easier line, and then they meet up back together. As you get further into the creek zone, the terrain gets a little bit more technical. There's more rocks, there's more roots. But as previously stated, it's a great place to learn how to ride over obstacles and how to choose the right line. Once you finish up the trail, you'll come out into this gravel section. When you cross over, you should be in this fenced-in area. And you'll soon, if you turn left, you'll see this little rock crossing across a little stream. A more technical feature, but you can easily walk it. You won't get soaked. Then you'll go into a more technical section. Most of the terrain until now was flat, but you'll get into more technical uphills and technical downhill climbing sections. If you're an advanced rider, all of this will just be routine for you. But again, it's a great place to learn if it's one of your first times on a mountain bike. This is where I actually learned to mountain bike and established the foundation on which I've built all the skills I know today. We'll ride through a more open area for a while, similar to that of the creek zone, and then merge onto a gravel path. In order to get to the Racetrack Zone with a more intermediate technical terrain, you turn right onto the trail here, and it will lead you to another river crossing. The sides of this trail, there's lots of little nettles and thorn bushes poking out on the side. There's a little rock garden after the river crossing. After this, you'll find yourself entering the Racetrack Zone. which will consist of more wooded areas with more elevation difference. This section is fun for the more advanced rider, but if you're a beginner, you may want to avoid it or just be prepared to end up walking your bike a little bit. There's some technical uphill sections here that are pretty tricky to get through, especially if you don't choose the right line. So you've now entered the bowl section of the Wakefield Trails, which is a large open area that has many more downhill inspired features such as berms, jump trails, a bit more technical terrain in certain parts of it. You'll enter a little wooded section leading into a ramp, which will lead you uphill into a rock garden. After that climb, you'll enter the section called the Racecourse. So the first section you'll see in the Racecourse is the roller coaster, which is aptly named because that's what it looks like. It's a big roller coaster. It has a few rollers that are jumpable, but the rest are just you pump, build up a whole lot of speed. It's real fun. The next section is normally just called the Berms because it's a long downhill course full of few berms. A lot of them are in very poor condition as of when I went, so the ones on the left here are almost unrideable, but it's still one of the funnest things to do there. You can really get going fast if you brake before the berm and then really just throw your bike into it. The berms will lead you down to the bottom of the trail, and there's a small river crossing there which leads you to a gravel path that will lead you back to the parking lot where you started. But another thing is you can just ride back up to the top through a fairly steep hill or through a series of switchbacks, and they'll take you back up there so you can do the berms or the roller coaster again. It's a really fun trail. So in conclusion, the trails at Wakefield are great for any rider, from novice to even the most advanced, and you can have fun there. I would highly recommend checking them out. Make sure to like and subscribe to MTV 365. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time on MTV 365.